My Hero Academia. Okay.
Here we go.
This is a big one. This is My Hero Academia chapter 306. I reveal the title later because it seems to be of massive importance.
You'll save the title for later because it was on the last page.
It is on the last page.
Of the... Nah, I'm not going to spoil. What else is the last one? But sure.
All I ask is that we keep it civil. we hear each other out. And we see where this goes, because this is a very polarizing...
RGC.
Yeah, this is Brian's really good chapter of the week.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I will die defending this chapter.
Well, let's hope we don't have to. We start off where we left off before. The team of Hawks and Best Genius are now talking to All Might, and they're basically asking him, "Yo, what's this all for one stuff about? Or one for all stuff about?" I'm keeping it brief because I think we're going to be talking about this for a while. But in any case, All Might says, "I'll tell you everything." So All Might's going to reveal kind of the secrets of One for All and the history behind that. So apparently, we hear that the principal explains that the heroes are going to have a press conference to really respond or explain the recent events that's been going down. And really what the public was after is not necessarily to blame them or to like give them shit necessarily. A lot of people are really just looking for a reassurance from them that everything that was said by Dobby was false, that all of the deaths are, I mean, I guess like it really affected them in a way. Like they're just looking for reassurance that their future will be bright. And right off,
that's a good way to say it.
And right off the bat, Endeavor just goes off and is like, "Yeah, he didn't lie. Everything he said is true. I can't apologize enough for what I've done." And everybody is just like, shit. We see like reactions around the world where everybody's like, "Man, he should have fucking just said it was a bunch of lies and it's all over for that guy. We have no fucking faith in you." And they're like, "Well, clearly Best Genius, Hawks's accusation is false because Best Genius is right here." And Hawks is like, "True, but that's true. My whole thing with Best Genius was like a way to infiltrate their ranks. But the bit about his father and the bit about him killing a defenseless villain were both true. So, sorry about that." And as for Bubai Gawara, I felt like there was no choice. He's so fucking strong, and he was going to continue to be a problem. I needed to get him out of the pictures to prevent further death and destruction. Honestly, it's hard to...
It's true. Sorry to cut you off, but I feel like there's a huge point being made there because of he was still continuing to develop.
Right.
Like him making all of those clones and being able to make copies of people. That was honestly probably just the beginning, or even just the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he could have done more. Remember when he had the copy of Midnight? What's the dude's name? The leader of the...
Yeah, what's his face? You're right. I keep forgetting his name because he doesn't pop up anymore like that.
Yeah, man, a big Hulk.
Redestro.
Yeah, man, he made
a cool name. How do I keep forgetting?
That pulled up to the public to see. Like, imagine he made had that clone continue to rampage. It would have been over for that city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. So
yeah. That was just one example. I thought that was a nice little touch. Like it felt kind of out of place before. I'm not gonna lie. Like it was just a random kind of tidbit, or I don't know, like maybe kind of more of that force feeding of feel bad about Bubakawa or whatever. Hear his words.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like. But now I feel like that was done to kind of show like look how deadly this person was.
Yeah, I mean, it was a no choice situation. It felt like. But he feels bad about it. He didn't want to kill Bubai Gawara. He's just like looking at in the moment in this high pressure situation. This is like, you got to make a call. And this guy is too dangerous to keep around. There's no way he's switching over to our side, so he has to go. And one of the reporters has a personal experience where her mother was horribly wounded, and brings up the point is like, okay, you guys saying sorry, it's all true, isn't really changing anything. I mean, all these people are suffering, and all you got is, well, it is what it is basically what you're saying. And they're just like, Endeavor's like, I mean, we've been suffering too. If we showed you all of our pain and exhaustion and tears, will that fix something? And they did not like that response. And Endeavor responds with like, look, that's the way I atone is by taking down every last villain out there. And Best Genius continues to explain that like their ranks are shrinking, heroes are quitting, and there are people who are ill-equipped to protect the masses at large. So we're just trying to reduce overall speed that requires our attention. So basically UA and other hero programs will use their campuses as evacuation shelters so that people can kind of just like live, and they don't have to be so spread out. Like a bulk of the population will be in one place or another, and minimizes the amount of places where heroes have to go, which is it's pretty smart. Will people like it? I don't know, but basically, Endeavor says that like regardless, like this is gonna suck for a while. You might all have to live in basically shelters with each other, but this is all for finding a path moving forward until we can get the situation under control. And he says, your criticism and doubts, direct them all at me. I just want all of you to watch me. And he puts on his flame mask, and
that part made me fucking smile, because it's like this is probably the most #1 hero moment Endeavor has ever had in the entire series. Like, this was the moment where he's officially kind of like, it's not like intentional, but this is like the moment where he's not thinking about being the best. This is him thinking about like accepting the true responsibility of being the #1 hero. Mm-hmm. And that means taking everything on. Like if the hero society is in shambles right now, he needs to be the one to be taking all of it. He needs to be the one to carry that burden and keep pushing it forward so that they can move on as a society, He can be the face of hope, but he could also be like the face that can relieve tension by being the target of the crowd,
Yeah.
Like, it's two sides of a coin, He can be the inspiring figure, or he can be the guy who takes all the responsibility of hero society's actions.
Yeah.
So this moment was very, very beautiful for me. I really enjoyed everything about Endeavor for the past couple of chapters.
I'll say this: I think like it's a part of being a #1 hero. Like Endeavor kind of like reached out that one time, I remember, to ask like All Might, like, how did you do this? How did you become like the real actual #1? And it's not just like having the strongest power or being the strongest hero alone doesn't make you the #1 hero. You have to be a symbol, like you have to be a pillar, and you have to be somebody that the people can put their hopes in. It's about uplifting a society as well as saving people. Like in fighting and being strong, but you also have to be able to inspire. And it's a very interesting way of doing it, because I don't think All Might would have. All Might's whole thing is that like he was a symbol of peace during like peace times. He was like in a good time to be the #1 hero.
Really? I don't know.
Wasn't he?
Because like we don't know a lot about in like All Might's like time as a hero, but I think it was him becoming a hero and all of his actions that made the world a better place.
True. Yeah. I mean, it's all that.
He fought All For One twice.
Yeah.
First time left him with that crazy wound, right? And had he not been able to beat him, there would have been no peacetime.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, I was thinking.
I would argue.
Go ahead.
My bad if you let me finish.
No. Go ahead.
One of the major differences well, the reason why there's such a big difference between All Might and Endeavor going through whatever he's going through is because if All Might was here, none of this shit would have been going down, period. He made everything happen. You know, I do remember when Endeavor approached All Might and asked him about how to be number one and all of that. But I'm going to tell you this. I don't think All Might had... I remember him saying something about, you know, you have to be, you know, something along the lines of being positive and looking ahead and remembering it's all about saving people, et cetera, et cetera. Don't keep your head down. You got to think about the bigger picture. I remember it was something like that, but I don't think this was ever a situation All Might could relate to, because at the end of the day, Endeavor's not that strong. He's just not. And the funny thing is, when I seen this picture, and this is part of the reasons I feel like I like the chapter, because there was like good techniques, and I believe that this moment where you seen him flare up his mask in a reaction to what this reporter was being very emotional about, which, side note, I think it was a little dramatic. I think in real life, I think people are trolls online, but I don't think that the people who are very serious about their jobs and their work and who actually, you know, report on these type of things respond like that. I didn't feel a connection, and I felt like the author is trying to relate this to actual real life, but maybe that's just my opinion. Anyways, I seen Endeavor here. I see a man that's scared and doesn't know what to do, but figures I'm gonna do the only thing I know how to do, which is flare up and try to be as strong as I can, and I guess learn more along. I mean, you know, he has changed and he's going to develop in that way, but this ain't reassuring, and I think that's what Horikoshi did very well in these last in these last 5 or 6 chapters. You know what I'm saying? Towards the end of the Shigaraki war arc into what we're seeing now is that the Hero Society is over.
Yeah,
they had to make people move into shelters. Like, the crazy thing is, I didn't really fully understand that until we went over this. Now, I thought I kind of just assumed it was like, oh, when something goes down, everyone's going to be able to move to these specific areas and we'll organize it that way. No, it's over for society. Like, they're saying, look, people, we need to keep y'all in these spaces to keep y'all safe because things are not okay out there.
Yeah.
It is over, and I will not even admit, I will just say that Horikoshi did that very well with changing the entire, like, flipping the story. And we all knew this was going to happen. I mean, I definitely called it a lot of times. I was like, even when Endeavor was fighting against the Nomu, I was like, bro, this is over, son. He got his ass beat. What the fuck does that mean for everybody else? You feel me? And they're supposed to have more of these Nomus? That's another reason why the war arc was kind of silly to me, because they had a whole bunch of these Nomus, and honestly, these heroes should not have been able to keep up at all. But again, that's just...
I mean, they didn't.
They weren't completed, though. Not all of them were completed.
Guess, bro, but oh my god.
Like, they made it a point that these guys weren't complete.
Was completed?
Yeah, it was. That's why it was sent at him, you know? They didn't send an incomplete product to fight the #1 hero.
Yeah, they called these the near high.
They sent their best product.
They said
which was better than the ones that were incomplete.
They were near high-end Nomu, right?
Yeah, they're near high.
That's what I'm saying. They wasn't like a quarter of or half of, near. Like, what, 80% maybe? 75%?
Well, and there also weren't that many to begin with. Of the near high ends, there was a lot of Nomu, but of those specific ones. And a lot of them got away. I think, like, there's 9 of them out there.
They did get away. You're right. It's not like they got beat. They just was held out. All right, whatever. Again, that was a super sidetrack, and I probably shouldn't have even brought that up.
Yeah, the priority was getting Shigaraki out there.
I think Horikoshi did a really good job in flipping the whole environment and the tone of the story.
Yeah.
Which I also thought about a little bit, like, in the days, because I read this comic at least once every day of the week, because, like, I felt very strongly.
Yeah.
The first time I read it, I was really, really upset, very disappointed, and I felt like everything I was saying prior, like, that I felt like where I was just going a little too hard, I almost felt like I was validated, and I didn't want that to be the case, man. I didn't want to feel, well, anyway, I'll express that a little bit more as we finish up. Let me not
the only thing I'll say is, like, on the part of the journalists, I think that's, like, an established thing that there's a lot of, like, gotcha journalism when it comes to the heroes, you know, like every time they've had like
it's lame to me. It's lame. It's a little extra.
Yeah, it's a little.
You know
much.
what I'm saying?
I agree.
We get it. A whole city was just fucking destroyed, bro. Like,
Yeah.
We don't need to. We don't need to scarecrow. You know what I'm saying? Media. They expose themselves in their own ways. You don't have to make it seem that bad.
Yeah.
They're not that obvious about it.
For sure. We get a little bit of glimpses of other heroes around the world. We see Mirko. She's okay. She's like getting ready to go.
Well, she's not okay. She still doesn't have an arm and a leg.
Well, she's not where. I mean, like she looks like determined. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
She's alive. Also, is what I also mean. She's alive. Kamui Woods seems to have leaf hair now, and he's putting on his mask or whatever. That's pretty cool. Aizawa has an eye patch now. Just like you said, eye patch is out. I think this is Nejire who has Midnight's mask.
Yeah. No, that's wait, Nejire is the mountain,
right? That's Miss Mountain.
Oh, that's Mountain Lady. You're right, that's Mountain Lady. Sorry. I thought that was like supposed to be Midnight's mask. But I guess not. No, yeah, this is Mountain Lady. My bad. Didn't see enough of the hair, honestly. But yeah, the next.
I mean, who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Is she one of the core characters? Not at all. Like, why are we looking anyway?
Okay,
you don't feel bad at all, bro, for missing that because she really doesn't matter.
I miss Midnight. Midnight was cool. I don't like that she died.
Bless you. Oh no, Miss Midnight was really cool. I'm talking about Miss Mountain.
Mountain
Lady?
No, I don't feel bad for Mountain Lady. She's okay. She's alive.
That's what I'm saying. That was Mountain Lady.
No, yeah, I didn't know. That's what I was saying. I thought it was Nejire holding Midnight's mask.
Oh.
You came at me, dude.
No.
You came for blood.
Coming for your ass.
To make you feel bad, I was misinformed. All right, I didn't catch that.
All right.
I was trying to make you be like, fuck that. Don't worry about her.
Hey, buddy, we're cool.
All right.
We're cool. Okay, so the next thing that happens is that back at the dorms, Endeavor didn't snitch about All for One, One for All, because they're still trying to keep that a secret. Because there's a lot of villains out there looking for Midoriya, so he's trying not to make a big splash about it. And a lot of the UA students seems to have letters. Every student seems to have their own personalized letter from him, which is actually kind of a sweet gesture. He wrote something for everyone in his class, which is kind of nice. And this letter explains like the whole thing about One for All to his friends, because I guess they deserve to know.
Sure, I guess.
I mean, I think that's cool. I think like the cast.
That's a very Deku thing to happen, honestly.
Well, I think that everybody in this series now, all the major characters being on the same page is pretty important. At this stage of the game.
Tell which. I guess it's a fictional series, so the author can make it so that doesn't happen. But it's just like someone, you know what I'm saying? Like someone could just mention that shit by accident, and then boom, now it's all out. To the public. I mean, they wanted to keep. Oh, anyway.
Well, I think the kids are very, very locked into their dorms, so they don't go out really. I don't think.
Oh.
So. They're pretty confused.
Yeah, at least not yet, because I'm pretty sure these guys are going to be their plan B for Hero Society right now.
And I'm sure Midoriya included in the letter, like, yo, don't tell nobody.
Yes, please don't tell nobody.
Yeah, for real. I'm trusting you.
For real.
Scouts on.
There's no way they don't pick up on this, though.
Who?
Like the
world?
The teachers and the fucking
teachers
heroes. Like, there's no way they don't.
The teachers know.
Oh, man.
No, All Might explain.
Like, they're not going to be okay with this, I think.
All Might explain.
That's what I'm saying.
All Might explain to, like, Hawks and Best Genius what the deal was.
Oh, wait, no. We haven't gotten up to that part yet. Never mind.
Oh, this, of course, I agree. I don't think anybody's going to be cool with this, and that's why I'll explain my feelings on it later. But, yeah, everybody's kind of bummed out. Midoriya, apparently, after leaving these letters, has left the Hero Academy. And there's a big 2-page spread of post-apocalyptic Midoriya looking on the city under attack. And he says
this shit looks so fucking dope.
A giant villain.
He looks mad dirty.
He's bummed out.
Right now.
It looks so cool. Oh my god.
We are all entitled to our own opinions, aren't we?
I said post-apocalyptic Deku. I didn't say it was cool or not. But
I think it's cool.
No,
I don't
yeah,
care.
Brian said that.
all right, so that's
That
how the
shit was
chapter
dope.
ends. Okay, so I guess we'll
Unleash the hounds.
We'll unleash the hounds. Brian, what did you think about this chapter?
I thought this was an incredible fucking chapter. All right. I know you guys have always been ragging on My Hero Academia for its pacing and how fast it's been moving, but honestly,
Hey, you can say my name, bro. It's fine.
no, it's both of you. Both of you have
Brian's
had this
along with
issue
me
before.
because he's the unbiased king.
Who, me?
No,
I'm the unbiased.
both of you-
I'm dragging it.
no, both of you have ragged on My Hero
Sure.
for this, but honestly, I'm okay with this 100% because the way that this series is going,
Yeah.
like when like reading all these chapters and reading the past couple arcs, I'm like, this feels like a natural progression. I feel like this is a natural progression, you know? Like at this point in the series, the stakes should be getting higher and higher and higher, you know? By this point, there have been plenty of series that have been this far along in other stories, you know? But in My Hero Academia, this feels right, you know? Like this feels like something that should be happening by this point. Like the characters are maturing, the world is kind of maturing, and we're kind of getting past this is like the critical mass of the end of All Might's era, you know? Like when All Might's gone, this is something that's very, very like underappreciated, you know? Like his impact on the world was way stronger than we thought it was, and his empty presence has this effect on the world. If All Might was still around, this doesn't happen. This end of the chapter doesn't happen. It literally doesn't happen. The world would look perfect in All Might's world, but All Might isn't around, and that's the point of the story: is that there is no perfect hero anymore that can come in and save the day anymore. So if by this point, if All Might, like with All Might being gone and nothing is happening to this extent, then what was All Might's impact on Hero Society to begin with? You know, like it was stated that when this dude showed up, he's the greatest dude of all time. He fucking changed the fucking world, essentially, the entire world. He was the greatest hero of the entire world, not just Japan. Like his power compared to somebody who came from America and My Hero Vigilantes was like basically double that, triple that. He did more than anybody could do. And this guy being gone left a huge power vacuum. And the effects of that is shown now. And now it's up to Deku to fill those shoes to an extent because he's the successor. He is the final successor. So right now, we don't know the extent of like everything that happened with Deku inside of the One for All like universe, but I'm sure we'll get around to that because obviously this revelation Deku had came from talking to the two the second user and the third user, and those two were very hesitant about Deku in the first place. So there's still a lot we have to learn about the series. There's still so much that he could still expand upon within this final arc of the academia part of the series. But
I was waiting for you to address the actual title.
Yeah, I forgot to say it, but
I feel very hopeful about where the series is going, and I really do think that Horikoshi is really working magic with how he's writing this series, especially in regards to Deku.
Mm-hmm.
Because even in this moment where you see that Deku is a lot more serious and he looks a lot more stern, you still know that him leaving those notes shows that this isn't somebody who's possessed. Like this isn't somebody who lost that spark of being a hero. He's still Deku and he's still considerate to those around him. And this is just him taking the first step to being a hero, you know?
Mm. All right.
That's my piece.
All right. Josh, I feel like I'm in the middle, and I will let Josh speak now.
But you wanna? Yeah, I guess you could wrap it up with your thoughts. So I'll go. Honestly, I'm not gonna be as long-winded as Brian, not nearly. And I kind of alluded to this earlier, where I had I felt really strongly. I'm just gonna put it straight out there. I was very upset, and like I said, I felt like, yo, this series is. I read the final act begins, and I seen there was a. I can't tell if it's a time skip per se, but maybe it's not. I don't really know. I was just upset. I was just upset, and then the more I thought about it, I figured, just like Brian mentioned, just because they're saying final. Oh well, Chris said this too. I remember in the chat. You know, where just because this could very well be the final arc, but that doesn't mean there's not going to be sub arcs within this arc, and he's not going to take his jolly old time with this last arc. Who knows? I mean, do I think that's silly? Sure, but what does my opinion really matter? Am I a manga creator or editor? Have I sold or critiqued them or won any awards? No, so. Whatever. I'm not gonna pigeonhole this author because things aren't going the way I imagine or like my ideal way. You know, because it's not going the One Piece or even Naruto route where you feel like there's this clear divider in time. My only gripe, just to keep it super focused, I guess where root of the disappointment comes from, is that I would have liked to see a lot more of the school life. I see Hirokoshi really meant it when they said that, oh yeah, this is going to be like one of the last student life arcs. And I remember when he said it, like, I wasn't excited about that. I remember I was just like, oh, that kind of sounds like we're not going to get any more of this fun inter-character stuff that was part of the reason I really enjoyed the series to begin with. I mean, I felt like they had such an emphasis on the rest of the class where I was like, yeah, fuck Naruto. They're like, he's like, yeah, I know how to treat my side characters, and you know, there's so much more opportunity in this comic for that to happen. So again, I'm not gonna be mad about something that, you know what I mean? Like, there's still so much boundless potential for it. But man, I really felt like we could have got more mileage out of the whole school environment. I think things could have still been critical with there being a wreck. I don't think the whole Shigaraki War had to happen yet. I think bigger things, things similar to like Overhaul, more things like that, maybe at higher stakes or maybe different themes, like more political situations could have led up to like this big war where we have more time with the kids to develop as student heroes before shit gets all Mad Max on us, you know? Or post-apocalyptic Earth.
Yeah.
And then, like, come on, they got my boy Deku in rags right now. Ew. He looks
no, that's not rags. Those aren't rags. Dude, no, those are Gran Torino's. That's Gran Torino's scarf on him.
He's not Spawn, my nigga. He's not Spawn, bro. And I'm not an 8-year-old kid no more, son. That shit ain't cool to me. I want to see some.
Clean.
No, but that's literally Gran Torino's scarf.
Dirty, man.
No,
that's Gran Torino's battle tattered scarf.
And he's all emo and shit because he's all on his. Yeah, he has to be on his own now. Why? Why not ride with the big goons?
Because
Wait.
look. No, here to defend that part specifically, Deku can't ride with the big goons because the big goons are gonna get fucking rolled. Let's be real here. They're not equipped to deal with this shit. Think about it. Josh, don't be mad just to be mad. You know that All Might is the only dude who could handle All for One.
Wait a minute, guys.
The only dude. Name another person who could take down All for One. Exactly. So why would he roll with other people who are just gonna get fucking rolled?
Well, he's not the okay.
Anyway,
I think.
Why would he wait to smoke? He doesn't care. All right, he wants to destroy All for One. I mean, One for All. But he's also ready to enslave and destroy the rest of the society that's weak too. Best believe his main ops, the Hero Society. Come on.
Deku's main goal right now is to get to the level he needs to be.
God, yes, he has his emo.
That's not emo. No,
yes,
that's not emo. That is not emo.
Guys,
you see the expression on Deku's face here as emo? I see it as him growing up and be trying to become the hero that he
Guys,
needs to be.
We can't be talking over each other. Let me say. Well, we can't be talking over each other. Discord doesn't allow that. Okay, so here's my whole situation. I always find myself in the middle of these two, and in one point or another shifting between them. But I feel okay. So I did a lot of kind of research on this. I started reading My Hero from the beginning again because, and first of all, I want to respond to, I think Brian, you're misconstruing what our problems are in terms of pacing. I think we get it. Like, this was, a world without All Might fucking sucks. Josh, you're muted.
I'm just reassuring that I do feel that way as well.
Yeah, we know that. Our gripes not necessarily is the events that have gone down, but more, I guess, how quick it's gotten to this point. In the terms of a narrative structure where there's, not enough, focus on developing other characters and stuff like that. It's not something we're really used to. And to be fair, My Hero Academia is not that kind of serious, and it really hasn't been. It's always been very focused. There have been a lot of characters on the tertiary that have gotten focused, like Todoroki and Ida, but it's not that kind of series. It's about Deku and, to a lesser extent, Bakugo, and that's about it. And that's my findings. Wait.
Hold on. I just have one question. When it comes to characters that you wanted to be fleshed out, who is it that you guys wanted to be more fleshed out? Because I feel like all the characters that needed to be fleshed out got fleshed out, Red Riot,
finishes. I'll keep that in mind.
Wait.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to know.
I want you to finish your thought, though.
And I mean, it's not just the main cast. Even for, I guess what's going... Like Josh mentioned, the premise of this whole thing was just kind of it felt to us like it was going to be we're going to find out, we're going to get a little bit of school life, we're going to get a little bit of actual training. There's not a lot of stuff that we see of the adults actually teaching these kids to a degree, there's not a lot of that. Our pacing issues are not necessarily the events themselves, or it's how fast it got to this point, or how fast it feels, because this is 300 chapters. And it should feel like this is a more fleshed out world than it is. And it's not necessarily that. But I will say this, and I've looked onto other people's response to this, because this is a big deal. This is, Horikoshi put this at the very end, the final act begins. I kind of wanted to see how people really felt about it. And a lot of people kind of had a little bit of our concerns. There were people who were like, I hope he doesn't rush this. I hope that, and people were reassuring each other, there's probably going to be 5 or 6 mini arcs and all that stuff. And I know from experience, Bleach, their final arc was 200 chapters long. So I'm not concerned about the final act. The Ninja War was how many chapters? It was forever. That was forever long. This final arc could be, I'm not really concerned about that. But despite all of our gripes we had with pacing with My Hero, I find myself optimistic, because at the very least this story is pushing forward. And I guess my theory as to where this continues is that Midoriya is kind of taking the world on his shoulders, and other heroes will back him up, at some point, because he's just going to take this world on his shoulder. He has the guilt of Gran Torino, obviously, that he's literally wearing on him, and he's trying to make good on that and take down this evil so nobody else has to die. I think the kids are all gonna leave the dorm and try to back him up, because he'll be overwhelmed. This isn't Midoriya trying to be better, because he's just mob mental. He's just jumping into combat so he can end this problem as soon as possible to avoid death. And that's my theory based on what Midoriya is. He has this power. It's his destiny to take down All for One, so he's going to act as soon as possible to do so. And, I think this arc is just going to be about waking Deku up and saying, hey, things are different. It doesn't actually have to be all on you anymore. As to whether the heroes are going to get rolled, I don't think so, because All for One is not fighting alone. Heroes could help out fighting, the League and the Nomu. You know, I feel like there's going to be individual battles on that sense. There's a lot of things that still have to also be unfolded. I think we're going to get an actual All Might flashback at some point. And they still has to deal with Aizawa and President Mike's thing with Kurogiri and all that stuff. There's a lot that needs to be closed. I'm not worried that it's going to end anytime soon.
The two successors that had their heads turned.
However, this is just like a brick to the face. Sudden, it's like, this is it. And I think
was it, man?
And I think Horikoshi did it on purpose. He wanted this to have impact, you know. So, you know, I haven't lost faith. Is what I'm saying. But I do think that I agree with Josh's complaints for the most part. As far as the characters that I wanted to see develop, it's not that like I demand a fully fleshed out story for each and every one. It's that I wish we knew some people more. I'm very interested in Shoji, the multiple arms guy. I think like he's a fun character. I'd like to know why he wears the mask, because there seems to be a reason.
Probably has another hand in his tongue or something.
Yeah, he probably has a hand mouth. Yeah, I don't know. It could have been interesting to see, and we've gotten little folds here and there, but it's nice to see more. I don't think it's a bad thing to be like, I like these characters even though I don't know that much about them. I wish I knew more, and that's all we want.
All right, so now I wanted to. My response to Brian is not about any like character in particular. Although there are ones that I like. I like the girl a lot. That can create like anything like out of her. I think that's such a dope ability, and it has a lot of Yao Yaru's. Yao Yaru's. Can't forget that. That was a class. Almost got My Hero Academia canceled.
Did it?
The hot tub incident, yeah. Nah, it's not about. But again, it's not about any characters in particular. I really like the class dynamic, and I just enjoyed seeing them around each other and the constant interaction, the constant building off of each other. Because it's not like they were just hanging out and, we're students, we have powers. They were learning things about each other. And that's why I felt like a lot of the real life comparisons came in. For kids growing up and having mature role models to look up to, or where they go through something and having actual reliable friends, you know what I'm saying? Just that positivity around them. It was nice. And I know things were going to change, but I would have liked to see that change affect their class more and more, see people maybe get affected in different ways by the ongoings of how life is changing. And part of the reason I'm not so down like I was a few days, like this past Sunday, was that there's just no reason all of that stuff can't still happen. I mean, Midoriya's probably in the same area. I mean, he's in Japan, bro. It's not that big. So I'm sure he's going to run into his classmates, and they're going to have arcs with his classmates. There's no way Hirokoshi's just going to completely leave his side characters on the coattail. And from the perspective that you said, Chris, about, and that, of course, that I guess Brian was operating with as well, is that this is a Midoriya story. This is about all for one versus one for all. And that's that. And we've had our main secondary characters, and whatever else happens is literally just sprinkles on. And I'm gonna be easy, yo.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see.
It's not really. I hate to say it this way because it sounds so petty, but I'm not conceding to Brian in the sense that I feel valid in again, like with the issues I've had with the Pacers, had I've spoken about for weeks and given reasons for. I don't feel bad feeling let down by that and feeling like we didn't have to get to this point yet. I think that's valid, but I'm still optimistic for what's more to come.
Yeah. Oh, Josh, I think there's some feedback coming from you.
And not everything can be One Piece. that's my conclusion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's all I really got to say.
Are we done?
I'm optimistic about this chapter. I'm optimistic about this series.
That's lit, man. My Hero Academia is awesome.
Horikoshi has credit, is what I'm saying. He has credit to. I believe in him.
He does, and the high.
I don't know. Like my main problem. My main problem is that like you guys constantly doubt like Horikoshi and what he can do. You know,
I have not. I have been optimistic.
like it's no, but it's like a constant thing.
Because of my expectations, he set this imaginary standard in my head for the series, and I thought it was gonna keep me in that way. This is on me, bro.
But this is the thing, is that like when it comes to like the classroom stuff and all that stuff, it's like, again, everything I think in this series comes down to All Might and his influence on the world.
Sure.
Like just think about it like this. No hero in this entire series that we've seen like in like that have been mentoring our kids, like the class 1A kids and all that, they don't have to deal. They grew up in a time when All Might was the dude. Like, well, or was going to be the dude, and they didn't have to be forced to grow up like them, you know, like at least at this rate. Like, I know they had their struggles and shit like that, you know, but they didn't have to be thrown into becoming full-fledged heroes at such a young age. Like,
absolutely,
the end of this like My Hero Academia series, like this My Hero Academia part, and this is why I really do think it's not going to end at just the academia part, is that they don't have the luxury to be just students anymore. Like, that's pretty much where they're going.
Over already, Brian. I'm sorry to cut.
Yeah, you're right, and you're right.
You need to get that through your head right now, bro. There's not going to be a part 2 to My Hero Academia. If there is, it's not going to be this is right here. This is him saying the final act begins. Midoriya is not. He's not going to come back to school, and then they're going to finish out the school, and then let's not. Come on.
Hey,
this is what we're talking about, Brian.
No, Brian, I think you're missing the point of our points.
It's over, and it would be silly if they returned.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is the final. No, but that's what I'm saying, is that this is the final act of the Academia series, of the Academia part of the series. Like, obviously, that's what I'm trying to say, is that he left the hero school apart. Yeah, and but this is like the point I'm trying to make, is that it's only inevitable that the students aren't learning from school itself. They're learning from experience. They're learning from being put into these situations to become real heroes at such a young age. That's my main thing. I hope that happens. And I like that.
I do hope that happens. I'm agreeing with you in the sense that I feel like that is definitely a route that could be explored. It should be explored. That is the natural progression of things. I did feel like at some point that was going to have to happen for these kids.
Yeah.
I agree with you with that.
Yeah, I mean, this is the last thing we'll say about it, because we've been doing it for a bit and we're going around in circles at this point. But last thing I say, like, it is not what they're going through, and it is not the content of the story or what's happening to the world is what our issue is. It's that it's just been, it feels like it got here really quickly. Like, and part of that is that, you know, it's not an ensemble series. So maybe that's why. Maybe it's not supposed, because it's such a focused series and we're used to all of this sprawling epic shit where every character gets their kind of due. And maybe it is us. I don't know.
What makes you think characters didn't get their due, though? We got the Red Riot moments, we got Bakugo moments, we got Todoroki moments. People are getting their stuff. What do you want? You want Tail Dude to get his moments?
Sure.
I can't speak for Chris. Listen, I can't speak for Chris.
See, Brian, I mean, like, I'm saying that, like, in general, it feels like it got here fast. And even if it was just like, this is just a Midoriya story, it feels like that too. I mean, I'm saying that we're missing out on these little portions. You say that they're supposed to be learning from experience. We didn't even see them learn from a classroom, really. You know, because everything they've tried, because everything they've tried has just like been hijacked or has been like a test. It's never been like a development in the moment where they get to be in a classroom, meet a teacher other than Aizawa, you know, get to know more people, explore this world. But I guess this is not that kind of series, and maybe that's on us for expecting that. But I think that that's kind of a detriment to the world that was built in a way. I
don't know. I feel like this was a thing that's been established from the beginning, that this wasn't going to be a profession that you could learn in a classroom. You know, like, yes, ever since. That's why they have a classroom. Like in the beginning of the series, you sit down. No, think about it, because it's like in the beginning of the series, of course, in the very beginning, they give you the basics, right? They give you the basics, but the rest of the series, like after the beginning area, it's been like them going on like hero exhibitions. They've been going out like with hero agencies. Like name how much time they've been inside of a classroom. It's less than that compared to how much they've spent on like working in agencies as sidekicks or something.
That's what we're saying. That's our point.
And listen, Hirokoshi doesn't listen. I feel like I figured a way kind of to help you kind of like really get on the same page where it's like now where you have to agree with our sentiments or feel the same way where I think you'll understand. Hirokoshi does not owe it to us. And again, Christian, I feel like via you as well. You know, you guys both, you know, indirectly from you, more specific from Chris, where it is a series about Midoriya. So it's not again, and I can't speak for Chris, but I do believe it's kind of the same, where it's like, you know, we're not really saying like, oh, this series is less than because things were supposed to happen and they didn't. For me, bro, I would have liked to see it.
Yeah.
But I can be let down in my own expectations, but I could still accept that it's a solid series.
Exactly.
And that there's still more to come up. I hope you understand that, Brian. And it's really this is
yeah, I think it's fair, but you know, I can respectfully disagree. You know, I don't have to change my mind on everything.
We're not trying to change your mind.
Also understand
we're just trying to help you understand.
Yeah, I understand it, but I just personally disagree with it. You know, that's just what it is. Like I just view the series very differently from you guys. That's been something that's been consistent this
not
entire
very differently, Brian.
My Hero, you know,
both still fans of the series.
Yeah, I know, but I just view it differently from you guys. It's just that's just how it is for me.
I think it'll still be lit though.
I mean, me too.
Whatever.
And you need to understand, it's like
there's still so much more good to come. I don't even want it to come. I don't want this conversation to come off, you know, shit on our end as negative or nothing like that from this podcast. Like this story has a lot more to get.
Yeah, just be assured we do.
We all could agree, right? Like for sure.
Yeah, our
regardless of what happened already.
Our disappointment.
Nah, I hate My Hero Academia.
Our disappointment is rooted in our disappointment that like it might be ending soon. We love this series so much is that we didn't get to see more of it. That's our problem. In a way,
manga, so I feel like that kind of sets like it's weird. It's like I'm used to certain patterns, and I'm just like, oh yeah, they could just stick along this road and go about it this way. It'll be so cool. And then bro, I act like this with other series too. That's all it is. It's just like I want this to be my One Piece, but it's all right. We got World Trigger. Too bad it comes out once.
Yeah, I mean that's it. We love the series so much. We're sad.
It is what it is.
We're angry that it may or may not be ending in the foreseeable future. That we can see a light.
Not, but
at the end. The fact that we can a little bit see a light at the end of the tunnel is frustrating. Is what we're saying. Is that we want to see more, and that's a good problem to have if you're a series. Honestly, it's better to.
Yes, good problem. Didn't Danny Glover say that? He was like, good problems? He said that in one of his songs.
Someone.
I liked it, man.
It's a saying. But anyway.
Good problems, question mark.
We'll be talking more about My Hero in the future. I mean, I don't know. We usually go off pretty hard on My Hero, just like time-wise. So let's move on.